Hello. You're probably watching this video because you've seen me play a weird game on stream and you're wondering, what the fuck is Tibia? You might not be that angry, but Tibia is an MMO released in 1997, way back. It looks like it's made in paint and there's no sounds in the game. I played the crap out of this game when I was young, and some of you might remember the storytime video I did on my channel talking about how I stole things in this game. I have now decided to revisit the game. I'm not going to be a thief, partly because it's been patched, so you can't do it anymore, but also because I'm a better person now. Yeah, but this is just going to be a short video for those who want to know more about what this game is actually about, so you can understand what's going on. Tibia is an MMO that has no leveling cap, and you level up mostly by killing monsters, and if you die, you lose a lot of things. Now, it's not as brutal as it once was back in the day, but you can still lose several levels, skill points, and items when you die, and these are like the core concepts of Tibia. You level up by killing monsters, and you don't want to die. You really don't want to die. You can pick between 4 classes, or vocations, as it's called in this game. Paladin, a ranged class with bows and arrows and holy magic. Knights, your classic meat, tank, melee weapons and all that jazz. Sorcerer, an aggressive mage with fire and death spells. And finally, Druid, still an aggressive mage, but also a bit focused on healing and nature damage, etc. The core game loop goes like this. You have found, for instance, a pit filled with dragons. You decide to pack your inventory with as many resources as you can. In my case, since I'm playing Paladin, it's a bunch of arrows and potions. And you go out to hunt the dragons. Kill all the dragons, over and over again. You do this without dying, hopefully, until you run out of resources. You then return to town with, hopefully, a lot of sick dragon loot that you can sell to NPCs or players, hopefully gaining you a bit of profit, and then you do it all over again. The stronger you get, the more dangerous monsters you can hunt, the cooler loot you can get, and the more awesome your character becomes, and, well, it's MMO. You should know how it works. So really, a big part of Tibia is finding that optimal hunting spot for your class and your level range, and then executing it properly without dying, and getting richer and stronger and fatter in the process. For instance, as a paladin, big creatures that don't have that many range attacks are ideal since I can run and gun with my bow. And so I might hunt these hard-hitting crystal spiders in this ice cave because they're not going to throw out a lot of magic. So if I can kite them, I can hunt there effectively, gain a lot of XP and loot. Whereas a sorcerer, being much better with AoE spells like the great fireball spell, for instance, might decide to hunt in the ape city where there are tons of lesser mobs flocking in big groups. That might be where they gain the most out of their class and level. So let's say you tuned into my stream, you're looking at this game for the first time, you might go, the fuck is this? A math game? Look at all the text and the numbers and yes, I get it. But listen, there are a lot of stats you can track in this game. For instance, over here you can see how much XP per hour I'm making, what mobs I'm killing, and a lot of that in-depth stuff. But if you're tuning in fresh, most of what's important is happening right here, where all the action is, and right over here, where the equipment and loot is. Here to the right, you can see my level and my skills. This determines my overall power level. Here you can see my equipment. This determines how much damage and defense I have. Here you can see what is in my bags. This is where the loot ends up to from the creatures that I kill. And this in the middle, of course, is the main stage for all the action. Combat in this game works like such. You click on an enemy and your character will begin to auto-attack it. If you have a sword equipped, it will attack with a sword. If you have a bow and ammunition, it will start shooting, etc. The damage of the autos you throw out depends on 2 things: the quality of your gear and your skill level with that particular weapon. In my case, distance fighting. You advance your skill level by hitting monsters with that weapon type. Now here is where it gets old school. On top of the autos you will throw out, you can also cast spells in this game. And the way you do that is by actually typing out an incantation in the text window. Yeah, so in theory you have to type it out. However, luckily you can set a hotkey and click that so you don't have to type every time. So when you see a character in Tibia running around, they are most likely constantly also saying things like Exura for healing or Exoricon or whatever for burst damage missile attacks. There are spells like Utani Hur, which increases your movement speed for a short time. Some other spells are cast by using a rune, which has had a spell bound to it, so then you don't have to actually say the words when you cast it. Sorks and druids in particular do this a lot. You'll see the runes in their backpacks when they go and hunt. On top of all this, to some, a big part of Tibia is about PvP. It definitely used to be back in the day, but the server we play on has optional PvP, so we don't do it that much, but we can still duel. But yeah, there's that. Since the game has been been out for, well, 20 years now, there's actually a lot of content for you packed in this title, outside of the big continent for you to explore and find hunting spots with sick creatures in them to kill. There are tons of quests to do that gives you items or golds or particular perks. There are world events where a group of mobs will decide to raid a particular city. Maybe the goblins will come across ties and you had to fight them off. On top of that, you can rent houses, you can decorate them, you can live in your houses and roleplay a little bit. You can decide to track down a specific creature that drops that creature product you need to upgrade your outfit to look more swag, and much, much more. There's a bunch of other game systems and cool things in place that adds on top of this, but I'd rather not go into it here because it's a little more in depth. If you do want to play this game, it is free to play, and you do get a couple of days of free premium time when you create your account, which is what you need basically to play the game for real. The way I like to put it is that you get access to like 10% of the game without paying, and then the rest of the 90 when you pay. Some people might argue with that, but whatever. If you do decide to go against your judgment and give this game a go, well, then create your character on the server Celesta. That's where we all play, and join the Discord server linked in the description below. We have a Tibia chat room there where you can ask questions and get help how to play the game. Check out the pinned messages in the chat room before you ask anything, as there will be a lot of useful tips and tricks there and answers to questions. If you add Prince Bacon, one of the mods in the Discord, and ask, he will invite you to our guild called Dead Streamer, which is the best name ever. And then you get a guild chat in game, so you can group up with fellow viewers, do some team hunts where you hunt together. You can do some quests together, or indeed ask any questions you have to help you get started with the game. We've had some fun in the guild already. For instance, we did the quest called Desert Quest earlier. Yeah, I know, it looks weird, but it's a lot of fun, and that's Tibia. We kill monsters, we earn money, we spend that on sick equipment and other resources. We try to get as powerful as we can. We do quests, we play around. It's fun, right? It might not be fun. I really don't know. It's too much nostalgia for me to actually give this game a solid review, but try it. It's free, I guess. I hope you got a little grasp of what's happening on screen with this, so you can sort of follow along when I'm streaming it. There's just something so zen about hunting creatures in Tibia. I can't explain it, man. And if you do tune in to the stream, feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and I or one of the experienced viewers will answer it for you. The good thing about this game is that I can be quite interactive while playing it, so I personally really loved streaming this game so far. Like with any game, I don't know for how long I'll play it or when I'll play it, but I'm gonna play it a little bit, okay? It'll be fun. So either I'll see you in game, or I'll see you in the chat on stream, or I'll hunt your ass back to Rookard. That's an old reference for people who play. Never mind. This is Bazzy, and I'm out.